Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. A couple of days ago I managed to get my hands on the X2Dii, which is the successor to the X2D, and I wanted to have a play around with it and check out the new features, see if I liked it, and figure out ultimately if it was something I wanted to upgrade to. Hasselblad is probably the last camera manufacturer on earth to add continuous focus to its range, so naturally fanboys like me have gone completely insane at the thought of trying it out. I'm a portrait photographer and most of my commercial work isn't shooting fast moving things, so I don't need miracles from the autofocus, but really I just need it to be fast enough to track a face that moves backwards and forwards. Maybe I can even capture someone in motion for once. Before we get into the video, I'm a commercial photographer. I'm based in Manchester, UK. My website is philtragan.com. On Instagram, I'm at philtraganphoto. And remember, every time you like and subscribe, a Sony user bangs his head. So it's a beauty, isn't it? It's graphite grey matte coating, etched black lettering, the same lovely design touches as its predecessor, still the camera that people will be asking you very personal questions about. I love the feel of the black X2D, but the X2D2 comes in a lighter grey and has this elephant leather grip surface, which is pretty nice too. Since this system is very much about the aesthetics, I think it's a shame that the all black lens lineup no longer matches the camera, but it's still a looker. So when I turned on the X2D2, and that sounds like something out of Star Wars, you're welcome with this rather slick animation before you're prompted to enter where you are and what time it is. The new joystick is a great addition because I've not yet found a touchscreen focus system I enjoyed using. It feels pretty great under the thumb too, and the response seems so far pretty well calibrated. It's a simple thing, but I loved it. When you press the joystick in, it very usefully magnifies the picture. The button beneath currently seems to be managing autofocus settings, but it can be programmed to do something else. I found that when I held the camera, both buttons sat really nicely under my thumb. One thing that on first impressions I really love about the X2D2 is that it does have physical controls like a joystick. There's something about the X2D where it has these beautiful ergonomics and this sleek design, but this clumsy touch drag interface that just seems really at odds with the spirit of the camera. Apart from these visual changes and additional controls, it basically looks the same as the X2D. So now we know we're dealing with a camera with looks that'll make the boys and girls blush. But does the X2D2 have the brains to match? So I decided to do a quick test that wouldn't really be scientific at all, but would sort of simulate all the areas where I need the X2D2 to be a big improvement on the X2D. I got Adam from X Photographic to try snapping me in a few different states. Firstly, sat down for a portrait session, secondly, walking towards the camera outdoors, and thirdly, outdoors but with smaller movements to see if the LIDAR-powered autofocus was keeping up with things. Here in the first of my very scientific approach, we've got the sit-down portrait session where the first one you can see, clearly a miss. We move on to the next one, that's a miss too, but it might be because we were just too close to the lens, but it seems to be focusing on the rear eye. In this one, that's almost a hit, a little bit of a miss, but just about get away with that. That one's a miss. Then we're into a hit, and then we've got a hit, and we've got a slight miss, then we've got a hit, and then we've got a hit, and then we've got a hit, and we've got a hit. So it didn't do too badly on that one. Next up, we'll look at the ones where I'm slowly moving towards the camera. So the first one you've got here, these are cropped in, by the way, so you can just see if they're on focus a bit more easily. That's a hit, 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 and that's a hit. And this one's a bit of a miss, but it did pretty well on that test. Last, we've got these outdoor ones where I'm moving a little in between the shots, and you can see this first one, the focus is bang on. Second one, again, caught it. This one's a slight miss with the eyes not being quite in focus, and that one's a hit, and that one's more or less a hit, but I won't be too hard on it. So my conclusions based on this short spell spent with the X2D2, is it good enough to keep up with my 5-year-old Canon R5? Absolutely not. It's pretty close though, it's really not far off, and it's certainly a massive improvement on the performance of the X2D. I think this upgrade, the LiDAR upgrade, makes the X2D far more usable in far more dimensions. I don't know how it performs in low light or in backlit situations or anything like that. I haven't done an exhaustive test, but what I've tried, I know that for my purposes, as a mostly portrait photographer, it's a massive upgrade and one that I think I need. It's a small but very important upgrade, and I will now have to find a way to buy one. I'll come back with something a bit more detailed on the X2D2 once I've actually bought one. In the meantime, thanks for watching, share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.